And a lot of times when you pick the green beans or you get a bushel of green beans, you always get them great big green beans that are kind of almost wanting to seed out and not really the best to stick in the jars for your green beans. So what I like to do is make dilly beans, kind of like dill pickles, only with the beans. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So first off, guys, you always want to clean and sanitize your jars. You want to refer to the book, the proper way to clean and sanitize your jars. And then what I do is I take some fresh garlic, crush it up, throw it in the bottom, and some dill. Got this dill at Walmart. You can get fresh dill at farmer's market. You can grow your own. And then, I don't have it here, but I put a couple jalapeno slices in there. I'm going to save you the trouble of cleaning the green, showing you cleaning the green beans and chopping them. But I take my big green beans and I chop the ends off, chop them the size, and sometimes I leave these like little finger things on there upwards. But as you can see, there's the dill, the jalapeno, and the garlic clove. I like to crush the garlic clove before I put it in there. And you're gonna pack your green beans in there nice and tight. As you can see, they're all packed in there nice and tight, leaving about a ½ inch to an inch space from the top of the lid. So we've cleaned our jars, we've put our jalapenos, dill slices, and garlic clove in the jars, cut our beans to size, packed them nice and tight in these jars. Now we want to get ready to create our brine. And what I use is this Mrs. Wages. It's a kosher dill pickle. You can pick this up at a lot of supermarkets, Walmart. It makes 7 quarts. I want to tell you now, if you do it this way, it's only going to make 6 quarts. Just a heads up. You use 3 1/3 cups of vinegar, 7 1/3 cups of water, and then this pouch. So we're going to add all these ingredients and get it on the stove and get it to boil. Anytime you can something with vinegar, you do not have to use a pressure cooker. I'm going to use a water bath method. I'm going to use this large pot, so we're going to fill it up quite a bit with water. We want enough water in there so when we place our jars, the water is about an inch above the lids of the jars. So get our water bath boiling here. We'll get a lid on that and bring that up to a boil. I'd also like to add that this is just a quick way to do these. There are several different recipes to make your own brine. You do not have to put the dill in it. This has got all the dill flavoring and everything. I just add the dill just for extra flavoring. Also, I keep the green beans whole. I just cut them down to size, cut the one ends off, so they're whole green beans. You can chop them up like regular green beans and do this. The garlic is optional. You do not have to have the garlic, and you do not have to have the jalapeno. I just like a little bit spicy. Hey guys, I just want to remind you that this is not a how-to video. This is just how I make dilly beans. You always want to learn how to can and refer to the manual before you start doing your own canning. There's a lot of complications and a lot of stuff that can go wrong, and if it's done wrong, you could get very sick. possibly even die. So always refer to the Blue Book of Preserving. It's I believe it's the Ball Blue Book of Preserving. That's the one. Learn from people that have canned before, and make sure you know what you're doing before you start attempting canning. I just wanted to remind you guys that this is just entertainment only. So let's get back to making these dilly beans. I just follow directions on the package for the brine. 7 1/3 cups of water, 3 1/3 cups of distilled white vinegar. Gonna add our mix. Smell the dill now. I want to whisk it around good because it'll want to stick on the bottom. Get it nice and dissolved in there. While that's getting ready to boil, we'll get our rings, our lids and our rings out. I'm doing 5 quarts, so I'll get them all prepared. And one thing I want to add also is I'm using a wide mouth jar. It's just a lot easier to pack the green beans in when you use a wide mouth for this purpose. Well, our water bath and our brine has come to a boil. So now we're going to ladle in the brine into the jars. Just go up here to the bottom of the ring here. Place our lid. Put our ring on. Tighten that down. I always wear gloves because all this stuff is hot. And we'll get all these jars filled up. Alright, we got all our jars filled, lids and rings on. We want to start putting them in here. This is where we want to be a little bit careful. Always use one of these tools right here. Just grab it right onto there. Start sticking them down in there. Don't want to rock and roll around here. So want to be careful. I'm going to keep a ladle around with you too. Pull off some of the excess water here because there's going to be more water. Get this last one in here. guys start to raise the water level up quite a bit. So you want to bring it down so we only got about an inch of water. So you can also put an empty or one filled up with hot water here, and I'll put that jar in there. That doesn't have anything in it, but I put hot water in it, and that's just to so they don't rock and roll around in the pressure cooker as much. Take a little bit more water out of there and let it bring back to a boil. So you can see it's come back up to a boil, and we're going to set our timer for 5 minutes. So with the 5 minutes being up, we're going to pull them out of the bath here using our tool. I always wear leather gloves because one of these breaks when you're pulling them out. It is not good. So now we're going to put them on this towel, keep them on this towel, and let them cool. Let all the lids seal on them. And what I do with all my jars is after I take them out of the canner or the water bath, I put them on a towel and I just leave them there till the next day. I don't even mess with them until the next day. Then I'll take the rings off, leave these lids on, take the rings off, take them down and store them in the basement for 2 to 4 weeks. Usually give them 2 to 4 weeks just so that brine gets a chance to soak in them beans. Well, when it's all said and done and they're all done, the caps will be sealed and I'll stick them down in the basement for a few weeks. But these are great when you have company. Bust out one of these. It's a great snack. Goes great with beer. And just a great little project to do. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.